Oh, it's a party, it's a party, it's a party. Okay, 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. We're gonna get this roaster cooking. Okay, everybody go and share. Even people watching right now, hey, hi.
What up?
Go share this from my page to your page. It's like something we do.
I just did.
As good Christians, that's what we do. So we're just gonna share. I just shared it again on my own page. White people are the worst. We are just. I'm gonna delete that. So hello. We are so excited. There's 9 viewers already. Oh my God, we're just
shit.
Okay. What we are going to talk about tonight, little children, little babies, little kids in the classroom. This is what we're gonna do. This lady over here, or man, depending on how you look at it. This is Miss Trunchbull. She's an evil being. She likes to hang out next to cottages, apparently. The thing is, I am going to break down in a very Cliff's Notes version, a Matilda. Okay, Matilda. All right. Now the thing is Matilda, she's this little bitch. Okay. And this little bitch, she got powers. Okay. She was walking to the freaking library 8 blocks by herself at the age of 4. Okay. And that's a little like, where are the parents? That's what I'm saying. Now this lady over here, her name is Honey. Okay. Now Matilda's dad, he's into cars and shit. He be selling cars to this bitch over here. And the thing is she's mad about it, but he still enrolled her in her school because he thought she had the same views on children that he did. Okay. Real fucked up. He only wanted the child to learn if she was going to be berated and verbally abused the entire time. I get it. Makes sense. Now what happens is she develops her powers. Okay. She picking up cereal and shit. She decks of cards all around her house. You know what I mean? Ping pong, turning lights on, picking up pictures of madness. This is just a run through. You know what I mean? And then Miss Trunchbull, shit, you know what I mean? She don't like black cats. She be kicking them and stuff. And then they survived. No big deal. No animals were harmed. But she also picks children up by their hair, swings them, puts them in the chokey, which is Josh's favorite sexual position. Cool. We like that about him. So tonight we are going to roast her because come on, this bitch needs to be talked about more because I think her career died after the movie. I think if you're as mean of a character and you portray that really well, they're just like, I don't see her as anything else. I'm pretty sure that's how she is in real life, you know? So she didn't get cast in anything. Miss Sherry, hey, if you're watching, how you doing? I love you. You can come work on this show to roast yourself. We are going to go to our first comedian of the night. She is a real rabble rouser, and she actually is the one who ate the cake in the cafeteria. So here we go. Here is Hannah Howard.
Wow. Okay. First of all, rude. You can't see my box. It goes away.
Red one.
Okay. Anyway, that wasn't me in the cake, Nicholas. Man, now I'm gonna have to start with you. I met Nick at an open mic, I think 2 years ago now. I was working it and he was like all super shy, but like high energy, and was like, I'm gonna do comedy. And I was like, go for it. So this is my formal apology to the people of the United States of America. I did that. Nicholas would not be here today if it weren't for me, and for that, I am truly sorry. Little turd. Next, Tom, we have a new friend tonight, Tom something weird. I don't know your last name, but I'm concerned about your well-being, Tom. Please blink twice if you're being held against your will in your mother's basement. Just kidding. He loves it there. He's fine. He's not being held against his will at all. No, siree. And Kyle, sweet Kyle, you must be exhausted trying to convince yourself you're straight still. Now I'm just a therapist for you boys. Miles, we have a special guest with us tonight. Miss Trunchbull is actually, she got down and dirty with Danny DeVito and made Miles Francis. So we have a special treat tonight. We're roasting her, but turns out her love child's here from a sweet, sweet affair. Who knew Miss Trunchbull had a heart and a vagina? Oh, also, Miles, we can smell you from here, so maybe shower tonight. Give it a good old scrub. So my good friend Anna, moving right along, my good friend Anna really loves Tim Allen. It's like a weird crush thing she's got going on. I get it. Like, I get the appeal. I mean, he can, like, fix it, you know, Mr. Fix It. But honestly, I'm just worried for Anna because I think she's just attracted to anyone old enough to fill her dad-sized hole in her heart.
Oh my God.
Tragic. Tim will never leave you for a pack of cigarettes, Anna. I know it. Wes is not here tonight. I don't know if he just is asleep in his Zoom position with his computer on his chest, or if he just decided he's just too cool for us. But he had to produce an entire online festival. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but he produced an entire festival just for attention and validation. And he never even turned his camera on. So we couldn't even see his pretty little ugly face. His parents were present though, so at least somebody watched, am I right? Joshua Edwards. Tonight's his first night on the roast, and I've never had the opportunity to roast Josh, but I feel like I was spiritually ready. When I sat down to write, I was going through and I was writing all my friends down and I was looking for material, but Josh's name popped up in my head and I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to say. I've been sitting on this for years. I don't know if you can tell, but Josh was in a fraternity because nothing about him is surprising. Except the one time that he finally came out as gay last year. But at the same time, he promised that he had nothing to do with all those roofies in that keg that one time. Look at it. He's wearing a necklace, guys. He's literally wearing a necklace tonight. He worked so hard for that little chin strap. Been growing it this whole quarantine. It's finally here, and he paired it with a chain. Proud of you. Proud of you, Josh. You've grown a lot. Okay, now we're going to talk about Miss Trunchbull. But I'm going to be honest with you, Nick. I can't roast the Trunch because we're kind of the same. Jesus, Anna, keep that to yourself. It's COVID. God. Somebody spray Lysol on Anna Barton, please. Really inappropriate right now. Read the room. Anyways, Miss Trunchbull. Instead of roasting my girl, I'm going to tell you the things that she got right. Number one, the hair. It is out of my face. I don't remember that it's there. It took me 2 seconds to throw it up. And I haven't washed this bitch in 3 days. Oh. Trunchbull knows what's up. I feel like she was quarantining before we were. She's got a nice ass house. She does. And you know what? She fought for that. I say let her keep it. Let her keep the house. She fought for it. She doesn't share chocolates with children. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's one of my favorite parts about Miss Trunch, because I don't like sharing good things with my children either. In fact, instead of one of those white lady gather signs above my dining room, I have a big shiplap sign that says much too good for children. It's a common phrase in my household. Also, bitch can move a car. like nobody was there. She picked that shit up and she moved it. She can throw those heavy ass balls too. She grunts a lot, but I think it really adds to the force, and that's just respectable, I think. In conclusion, this is mostly my confession that I am Miss Trunchbull, and instead of a school, I'm just homeschooling my children virtual learning. So holy shit, Miss Trunchbull is Hannah Howard in quarantine. Well, I guess that's back to you, Nicholas.
What a gem. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Well, we got somebody next up who you could probably hear his asshole suckling like a baby going,
oh my God, no.
yeah, he's a real gem. His name is Josh Edwards. First time on the show. Let's give it up for him. Woo!
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you, all of y'all. I appreciate it. You know, I was going to start, well, I will start with Hannah. And I will say, I got to agree with you. You did an amazing performance in this movie as Miss Trunchbull. Like, I think you really nailed that character, Hannah. Honestly, those superstitions that she had throughout the movie, those were almost as idiotic as your stupid crystals of power and sage bullshit.
Okay.
And then it was like, I feel like you were kind of made for this part, honestly. Like, you must have made it so easy for filming because they didn't even have to put makeup on you. You just rolled out of bed, went straight to shooting. That's so convenient. I will say, like, that belt, though, that wrestling belt, I'm sure that was kind of a tight squeeze on you, but your muffin top makes it work, girl. So you killed it. Good for you. And on to Miss Trunchbull, because I'm just going to kind of pepper shit throughout this. I like to call her Trunch bitch. I hate this woman, like, with all my heart, mainly because she is just like any gay kid's worst nightmare, you know? Just imagine this giant meat brick of a woman hulking up to you, telling you she's going to give you a chokey, whatever the fuck that is, and then throws you in a closet. That is the epitome of terrifying. And I know what I'm talking about because I was in the closet for 22 years. She looks like she went to Denny's, ordered one of everything off the menu, and then ate the entire staff. And then I feel like we can all agree that Miss Trunchbull has huge dyke energy, like big lesbian vibes from her, right? We can all agree on that. And, you know, those hands, those meaty hands, they're not just good for throwing children, if you know what I mean.
Scissors.
And that forsaken womb broom on her upper lip would make a lioness purr, especially with the mole right here. That's the power button. You just swipe that across a couple times and you'll be swimming before you know it. And then her fucking teeth. Okay, those things are ginormous. Those things are bigger than Kyle's forehead, all right? Those things were too fucking big. And all I'm saying is that she needs to return those teeth to whatever horse that she stole them from, all right? I bet when she's eating pussy, she just like latches on like a snake with lockjaw. Just. And then eating all the pussy is gonna make her breath smell bad. Like, it probably smells like a plain sack of shit. I assume that her breath smells as bad as Tom's beard looks right now. Nice background, by the way, Tom. Love it.
Fuck you.
On honestly, Miss Trunchbull wasn't even like the scariest part of the whole movie for me. Speaking as a diabetic, I am the only one here who is. I feel that I can speak on behalf of the rest of us out there. The scariest part of that entire movie was definitely the scene where the kid eats the cake, that chocolate cake. I remember being traumatized by that as a kid. And I don't know what it was, if it was like just too much chocolate or the way he was eating it or what. But when I rewatched it last night, the only thing that I could think of was Anna sitting alone in her house making out with a chicken wing because she got stood up on another date because the only man that could ever love her in her life left her and her sister when they were kids.
Fucking cool.
And then the way he ate it though, like that's the grossest part. It was all over his face and his hand, and that's disgusting. It was so gross. And fun fact, that's exactly what Nick looks like when he's done kissing Simon. What's her name? Fucking in my notes. What's her name? Gladys Simons kissing her ass.
I hope you're watching, Gladys.
Her great name, Gladys. But yeah, in case y'all don't know, Mr. Nick over here claims that he is a top, which, you know, makes that even more fitting for him to eat some ass. That's probably why he likes to talk shit all the time. But it does make sense. I feel that he is a top. That's always actually confused me. Ever since I met him, I never got those vibes. And that's also because I know that Nick is a Cancer, and Cancers don't like to get butt hurt. Isn't that right, Nick?
Yeah, you'd know.
Let's see. More on Nick. Nick is a very interesting person, y'all. In case you don't know him, he is a very, very interesting person, both physically and socially. I feel that Nick would be a really nice exhibit in a museum, and they can just put him in between the Egyptian mummies and the African sex totems. He'll go perfect right there. And his whole shtick, he will be the exhibit. His whole thing is he will just stand there in silence until a kid gets too close and then scream at them. And then another thing that I think Nick would be good at, just because I guess I was thinking of new jobs that you could have since you are unemployed and stuff. You'd be really good as an interventionist because, you know, you already look like an addict, you act like you're strung out on crack, and you like to feed people bullshit. So it's the perfect job. There you go. I do have one for Wes, but he's not here. You fucking anorexic scarecrow. Shit. Like, I was gonna talk about how he likes to tell the joke about how he got out of an escape room. And I was just gonna say you should have a little more respect for the rest of us, and you should have just stayed in there. But I guess he might have heard me writing that.
Oh.
Got him. You know what? On that, I am gonna kind of wrap things up with Miles here. That way he can get going, because I'm really excited to hear what he has to say, considering every time he's done one of these roast shows, he's been knocked out in the first round. And then the last time that we actually did a competition together, I beat him twice. And the second time, I didn't even have any material ready.
Oh my God.
So yeah. You know, that's not to say he's not great. I love Miles. You know, I like him about as much as he likes being sober. So back to you, Nick.
Yeah. Wow. For your first time, you truly were a cunt. I'm really like, I'm impressed. I'm like not even upset. I mean, I agree. Especially the part about Anna's dad. No, I'm just kidding. Oh God. I feel like we need to let up on that. Come on, give it a rest. This next beautiful woman to come on the stage, you would know her if you I don't know, if you stepped outside and seen any homeless person rummaging through your garbage. It's probably Miss Thang over here. We're gonna give it up to Miles Davis.
Oh man. Guys, I'm actually going to start with Josh Edwards, which will be exciting for him because it'll be the first time he's been picked first for anything ever. But Josh, I'm really glad you're here, man, because it's nice to see a child trying out comedy so young. And don't feel bad that you weren't funny, because like we all understand you're really tired because it's past your bedtime. It's fine. I am really concerned about your parents allowing you to be at a mature rated show, though, frankly. No, Josh and I actually used to work together at Dallas Comedy House. And like, I guess the one good thing about that place closing is I no longer have to work with Josh. Wes isn't here tonight, but he is fresh off of running the Plano Comedy Festival, which explains why he looked so exhausted all weekend. But why does he look like that the rest of the year? Does he run a comedy festival every weekend? No, honestly, I look up to Wes. I think he's a role model in the DFW comedy scene. For instance, I now know that if I ever get banned in Dallas, I can just pick a suburb and create my own stage time. Who else went? Let's see. Oh, Hannah Howard. How could I miss you when you try so hard to be noticed? Hannah's known for her signature dye job, and I have to say it looks almost as good as Danny DeVito's in the movie. But instead of peroxide, to get that shade of pink, Hannah just rubbed some of Nick Hawk's semen in her hair. It's absolutely fabulous, and it holds like glue. No, but honestly, Nick's doing a great job putting these shows together, and he's even reaching out to celebrities to try to get them to come to the show. And I'm so impressed that you got Jimmy Cars to be here. Jimmy played Bruce Bogtrotter in the movie. That's the kid that ate all the cake. Where are you, Jimmy? Oh, I'm so sorry. That's just Anna Barden. My mistake. You actually have a little bit of chocolate there, right? If you could just wipe that before your set. I don't want you to be embarrassed. No, Anna and I actually had a show together this last weekend, and I was so impressed because instead of doing stand-up like she normally does, Anna read from her diary. And I like just thought that was so brave, and also the first time I've ever seen her be funny. I don't know this next comic, but it's Tom Raised a Bitchler. Whatever, it's not important. Tom used to work at the Alternative Comedy Theater, and he'll also be doing the Alternative to Comedy here tonight. So, no, Tom is actually from Louisiana, which is explains why he looks like he was raised in a swamp. Kyle Porter's back. No one wanted him to be, but he's here nonetheless. Kyle's actually an actor, and believe it or not, Kyle actually had a role in the movie Matilda. He played the newt. And fun facts, guys, actually that scene that he had with Miss Trunchbull is still to date the only time he's ever touched a woman's breast. I haven't gotten to Nick Hawk yet. Nick always likes to put himself last on these things because he's a narcissist. No, seriously, Nick is such a narcissist that he's literally marrying someone named Nick because it's the closest thing he can get to fucking himself. But Nick actually has a really dark sense of humor, and actually his favorite part of the movie is when Miss Trunchbull would put people in the chokey, because giving a chokey was his favorite way to end dates. Woo! I'll talk a little bit about Miss Trunchbull. She is the headmistress of mean, the opposite of lean, and the type of woman that Kyle calls queen. One of the things that Trunchbull is actually known for is the hammer throw, which she had to learn to throw her own hammer because that's the only way she was going to get nailed, just like Anna Barton.
Oh no!
Trunchbull also specializes in the javelin toss in the film, which is what Tom told me people in Louisiana called what it's called eating ass while reaching around to give a hand job.
I'm not promoting.
Pam Ferris is actually the name of the actress that played Miss Trunchbull in the movie, and she also played Harry Potter's Aunt Marge in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So Pam was a bit typecast as a fat, unlikable bitch. She was actually going to be on this panel tonight, but that role is already filled by Hannah Howard.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but one of the main plot points in this movie involved Matilda helping Miss Honey get her porcelain doll back, which that actually reminded me of Josh Edwards because he's so pale and fragile. But no, the truth is, I love Miss Trunchbull, really only because she's one of like, I don't know, like 7 people in the world that is so vile, so awful, and so nasty that I can get away with calling her a cunt. It's basically just her and the other people on this panel. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks, Nick.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so if you guys are watching this video, share it. Go ahead and share it. Do some like little react buttons, just like ha ha ha. If you're ha ha, we can't hear you. You know what I mean? The computers don't work like that. You're not on the Zoom call, so I can't hear you ha ha haing. And I feel like there's a lack of ha ha haing. Okay. Oh yes, the one he gets something to work. Tom Reisenbeck there. Oh man, speaking of which, this old bag of bones right here looks like he just escaped from a mental institution. So let's my friend Tom Reisenbichler.
My name doesn't have the word bitch in it, by the way. It's Bickler, but whatever. So I haven't seen most of you guys' sets, so I can't really roast you, but I can roast Nick.
Oh, fuck you!
Miss Trunchbull. Weird pick, Nick. Picnic. Transition. I hate picnics. I don't like them. I don't understand the concept, because it's like, hey, do you guys want to eat inside in the air conditioning, or would you like to eat outside with a bunch of flies and mosquitoes and everyone's sweating? By the way, I don't have COVID to my knowledge. And they always pack shitty stuff for picnics. Like they're like, I made ham sandwiches. You didn't make jack shit. You assembled ham sandwiches. You didn't cook anything. Fuck off. And then what's always the side dish? The side dish is like potato salad. You know what's great in 95-degree weather? Mayonnaise. Just kidding. It sucks. But on to Mrs. Trunchbull. So I don't have COVID. I haven't been tested, but I'm pretty sure I don't. What's more interesting than Mrs. Trunchbull, which again, obscure reference. Like I don't fucking understand where you got that one. Just like last one was Freddy Krueger, and then now you're like, remember Matilda? And it's like, no. I remember Nick sent me, he's like, we're gonna roast Miss Trunchbull. And I was like, who? And he was like, from Matilda. And I was like, oh. Okay. Well, weird. What's weirder than that character is actually the author that wrote Matilda, which was Roald Dahl. If you're not familiar with his work, he wrote Matilda, which I just said, and Fantastic Mr. Fox, The Witches, and most notably, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But what's interesting about him is that before he did that, he was a secret agent for the royal government. So he was basically James Bond. He did that for a few years. I'm not making this up. I'm not fucking making this up. He did that for a few years. And then he decided, I'm going to write children's books that are terrifying. And starting with, let's go with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, aka guy who owns a chocolate factory, murders a bunch of children, and enslaves a bunch of orange dwarves. They were definitely slaves. Like, you know that they were slaves. Like, they're like, oompa, loompa, loompa dee dee. That guy won't let us leave. He won't let us leave. And in the book, he actually explains, like, I was on a safari in the jungle, and then I found the Oompa Loompas, and I said, come work at my chocolate factory. And I'm sure one of them was like, nah, dude, I don't want to do that. Why not? Because I like freedom. And then he was like, well, I have a gun. And that's how that worked out. And then Witches. I don't know if you remember Witches, the movie. That's an even more obscure movie, but it had some of the most terrifying makeup in history. I feel like a lot of directors in the 1980s and early 90s just wanted to terrify children. Like, remember Neverending Story? Remember when that horse died? Remember that wolf that was in the shadows? People ask why I'm fucked up. Because I had a Blockbuster membership. That's why I'm fucked up. Like, it's, I don't even know. I don't know what was going on back then. Now we have like trolls and they're singing like pop songs and shit. Wish I had that back then. Fuck. Pixar. Anyway, Miss Trunchbull, terrifying character, terrible person. She's overweight. There's no joke to go with that. That's just an observation. But she's a bad person and she tortures children. She punishes, she literally has an Iron Maiden that she puts kids in. No one called the cops? Really? No one called the cops. Okay, fine. We'll accept that. Put the children in the Iron Maiden. And then the other punishment I feel is kind of weird. We all remember the fat kid.
Yeah. This will be the last one, Tom. This will be the last one.
I'm not roasting anybody, okay? But she punished the fat kid because he ate some of her cake, and she punished him by making him eat the rest of the cake. And I feel like that's a weird punishment. I feel like that's like, oh man, you're a heroin addict. Here's some more heroin. It doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, with all due respect, you know, Miss Trunchbull, fuck you, you're a horrible bitch.
Thank you.
And I'll send that up back to Nick.
Yeah. Clearly, his classmate didn't understand the assignment.
Fuck you.
It's okay. I wanted, you know what I really wanted to hear tonight when it came to a roast? I really wanted to hear your like poorly put together stand-up routine. I'm just kidding. I love you, Tom. I'm just happy you're here, honestly, because I love you. We go, okay? He stole a role from me. You can believe it.
Nick, who's next on the open mic list?
Shut up. Tom, you're you're a superstar. Stick around because there's jokes about you. Next up, we have Hannah Barden. I'm not gonna say anything. I just burped. I'm really sorry. I don't want to say anything mean about Hannah Barden because I feel like God's already punished her.
Oh my God. What a sat, Tom. it's kind of weird that the only thing you roasted was a ham sandwich, but I guess that counts as miles. So this looks stupid. I'm taking it out. Okay.
Okay.
Tom, why the long neck?
Went that way.
You know what they say, the longer the neck. Actually, that doesn't really apply to you. You look like you were fired from substitute teaching after you hit on a 14-year-old and got rejected.
Okay.
But I will give you this. Your voice sounds like a phone sex operator for people who live in trailer parks. I know, Nick Hawk. Oh my God. I can't handle it. My hair looks so stupid.
You look great. Reel it in. We're professionals.
He says while smoking weed.
Moving on. What did you say?
He said while he's smoking his weed. I said that.
They were professionals. And yeah, never mind.
Oh, okay, ham sandwich.
Oh, wow.
Okay, moving on to Hannah Howard. Hannah and I were on a Zoom call over the weekend, and no one knew she was there because her roots are so bad. They just didn't recognize her. Hannah, you look like a merch girl for a Katy Perry. My glasses are fogging up. You look like a merch girl for a Katy Perry cover band that mainly plays at Walmart.
Oh.
But you know, Hannah, you are like my sister in comedy. Thank God you're not my sister in real life. Next, let's go with Josh. Hi, Josh.
Hi.
I am really excited to be doing a show with you tonight. I was really curious to see if you learned what comedy was. And now I know. Josh went back to school to be a therapist, which is awesome. I really hope that he can learn how to not be a little bitch. But Josh, if the therapist thing doesn't work out for you, it's fine. I think you can just live with your mom and work at Olive Garden forever. And the Andes mints that they pay you with can help you manage your diabetes. Kyle Porter, I was not surprised to learn that 6 women have restraining orders against you. I was surprised to learn that you know 6 women. Your voice sounds like what Barney would sound like if Barney were voiced by Ellen DeGeneres. And let me just read you guys this little anecdote. Kyle's work information on Facebook. It says actor since 2006. And the description is, I've been incredibly and extremely blessed to have played so many different roles and be a part of such outstanding collaborations in what is just the beginning of my professional career. I would easily do this for free. And even though sometimes it seems like I might, I'm grateful that I haven't had to since high school. And I just wanted to say, I am really happy that your dreams are working out for you and that you can do unpaid Zoom shows every week.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love you.
Wes Corwin is not here with us, but too bad. I'm going to read these anyway. Wes looks like he gets the kids every other weekend and takes them to Subway for dinner. Wes is the kind of guy who would crop dust everyone at the DMV. And in all honesty, though, Wes worked really, really hard to put the Plano Comedy Festival on this weekend. It was a great time for everyone. So many comics. I think there were over 100 people. So that's like really awesome that he wrangled all that. So what a great time for him to be unemployed. Okay, moving on to Miles Francis. You look like you just came from an orgy with Big Bird and Brett Michaels. Miles has a Simpsons podcast, which totally makes sense for him because he makes everyone around him feel so itchy and scratchy all the time. But truly, Miles, you just look like the love child of Taylor Swift and Jabba the Hutt. Now, let's move on to our host, Nick Hawk. Nick, your voice is like nails on a chalkboard, but worse. Should have said this last week when I could have said it was Freddy Krueger's nails on a chalkboard. Okay.
Food for thought.
Nick, every time I look at you, I don't know if I want to punch you in the face or punch myself in the face or both. Nick is the type of guy who would date someone with the exact same name as him. And I'm not just saying that because it's true. So, we'll move on to the star of the show, the Trunchbull. You know, Matilda is actually one of my favorite movies. But I do have a question. Why did they let Paul Rubens back into a movie with children 5 years after he was arrested for public indecency in a movie with children? And why did he play a cop? Actually, that kind of makes sense. So never mind. The Trunchbull is what Hannah Howard looks like with a messy bun. An interesting fact, the costume designer modeled her teeth after Tom's. But I don't understand, if she has so much authority, why is she the only one that wears a school uniform? You know? Oh, no. I will say this. I, too, have a sexual fantasy of being thrown by my pigtails. But I would never do that on a child. So let's dissect this. You know, she locks people in a dark dungeon covered in nails and calls it the Chokey. She walks around with a riding crop at all times. Each room she works or lives in has various weapons. She force feeds kids 50 pounds of chocolate cake at a time and then breaks the platter over their head when they're done. And she attempts to dominate everyone smaller than her, especially Danny DeVito. Just kind of seems like there's a history of a failed BDSM-based relationship there. I don't really know where I'm going with this. There's not really a punchline at all. So Josh, if you wanted to use that in your set, feel free. The Trunchbull wears the 1972 Olympics sweatshirt to, you know, act like she's an athlete. But we all know that she just won the gold and ugly. So the whole belt over the sweats thing makes her look like a cross between Santa Claus and Caitlyn Jenner with a little dash of Trump, you know. But, you know, at the end of the movie, she is targeted by all the kids at the school who throw their lunches at her and toilet paper. But I bet she was glad to see that toilet paper for the first time in years. Kyle, you might want to take notes on that. I feel like I used all my energy up at the beginning of the set because I was so overwhelmed, but at least my set was better than Tom's.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you.
Okay, no, Anna, Josh is not going to school to be a therapist. He's going to school to be the rapist. It's different. It's spelled the same. Just, you know, just a hole in there. Oh my God. Tom, I'm still recovering. I just want to let you know that my inner child died a little bit from your performance. It's unbelievable. I no longer believe in
I
Christmas.
hate you so much.
Oh, and by the way, just a shout out, Hannah Garland, thank you for watching. I know. I saw
Who?
Hey, Hannah.
Next up, we have a delicious gentleman. He's wearing a suit, but he still looks like a corpse. Here's Kyle Porter.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you so much for inviting me to join the most Aryan panel that I've seen since the end of Indiana Jones and the Lost Ark. I feel like my face is going to melt off every time a white person's opened their mouth on this thing. I think that's for a reason, though. Much like Nick's sex life, he's scared of having a big black guy shred through the assholes in this room. I didn't make the panel. Moving on to Tom. Tom, oh boy. Tom, first of all, I really like this, what would you call it, first ever doing amateur porno angle that you've chosen to go with. It looks great. You're putting in some hours and you're really going to get there one day, guy. Tom is here, actually, because Nick is so vain that he actually brought in a doppelganger from a parallel universe where everyone has schizophrenia and does meth. Honestly, though, there's nobody Nick loves more, if we haven't learned tonight by dating another Nick, there's nobody Nick loves more than a more desperate, pathetic version of himself. So I'm glad you're here. Also, if everybody wasn't sure at home, Tom's voice, he is exactly as dumb as his voice makes him sound. So there's talking with you or listening to your set was a lot like watching a foreign correspondent on the war, like in the news, because there's like a 2-minute time delay and it's always annoying. Moving on, Hannah Howard, everybody. Hannah Howard brought her daughter tonight, and Miles, you look pretty. So Miles Francis actually has all of the charm of that chode at parties that bums a cigarette and then tries to pocket your lighter all night long. That's Miles. Miles' comedy really shows the kind of deep thinker it shows that he's the kind of deep thinker that, you know, questions the unquestioned, like how the word a part means separate, but if you separate the a, it now means together. Whoa, I know, hang in there, kid. You'll crack that case one day. Hannah Howard, she has Miles here today, but she is clearly one more gay child away from chain smoking Virginia Slims and wearing a muumuu to Walmart, you know, giving up entirely. Hannah, you are the human equivalent to a minivan in both weight and the fact that your existence makes me sad. There is that. Josh Edwards, even though you're not funny, it's still really nice to have you on the panel because it's good to have another moderately attractive person on this dais other than myself for once. And then I wrote in here a joke for Wes, who didn't fucking show, but it was supposed to say, looking at you, Wes, the guy who looks like the Luke Skywalker toy my mom put in the microwave. But none of you saw it, so you can't see that he does in fact look like a melted ginger. However, Josh, back to you, my friend. I'm glad you're here. You look like Justin Bieber's youth minister, dude. You know, the one who touched him. Nick, did you digitally piece Josh together from images from your spank bank? That's why he's here. It makes sense. Nick scheduled himself a masturbatory intermission, you know, from all your pity laughs. A spank break, if you will. All right. I'm still gonna burn the shit out of Wes just because how dare he? I wasn't at Plano. I don't have to suck his butthole like all of you did, apparently. Wes won Best Comedian in Texas, but what he isn't aware is that that award is based on how laughable his day-to-day existence is and not based on his ability to string sentences together after what I can only assume was a traumatic head injury. Seriously, Wes, I know you're not watching, but if you watch later, email me your surgeon who operated on your giant skull, because I want, my mom's getting her tits done, and out of spite, I want her to look like a monster. Anna Barden is here. Anna, I really appreciate your whole approach to comedy. You have all of the confidence of an underage girl asking to use the restroom on the Epstein jet. All joking aside, though, you look beautiful tonight. Nope, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. You look like you unhinged your jaw and swallowed a beautiful girl whole. There we go. Which, not unlike what Josh had to do to Nick to get on the show tonight. Speaking of swallowing, I'm enjoying this. Let's just go down the list while I got all you here. You ready? Anna and Miles both probably give really good head, if I'm being honest. It's those cute, chunky lesbian cheeks and the fact that you both clearly have something to prove. Nick would be far too selfish and forget what he was doing halfway through, because you, sir, have the attention span of a labradoodle. Wes is off limits in this joke because of the aforementioned head injury. It's just taking advantage at that point. You can do jail time. Josh, honestly, is probably amazing at it, because like I said, that's how you got here tonight. Ha ha ha. That's just beating a dead horse, which brings me back to Tom's face. Tom, you look, actually, I feel like sex or a BJ from you would get interesting because you look sexually repressed enough to beat me up after you finish, so that's hot. Hannah is married and has children, so the only thing she should be wrapping her lips around over the next decade will be a shotgun. And finally, Miss Trunchbull. This bitch fucks, y'all. Look at her. You know, she is down for anything. Seriously, I'd let her, first of all, I'd let her put me in the chokey right before I finished. You know, she's good at that. She's got those strong forearms. She could do it. You know what she would let you do for all you Texans here? She'd let you do a Texas slider. That's when you eat 5-alarm chili and then she lets you put the rest of your wet hot brown on her face. You know, putting her essentially in brown face, because that's the only way you can do that in Texas. That's racist. With that said, it was actually pretty hard for me to find some sick burns for old Trunchy. So Agatha, baby, take a look at me, because I know they went pretty hard on you tonight, like I want to. But you just got to let that roll, you know, like those many children you've thrown out of windows in the past. Which, by the way, is a super pro for me. That is not a con at all. In fact, I think everyone here is a little jealous that you get to abuse children for as long as you did. I know Hannah is. You are, lady, you are athletic, you're competitive, which I like. Even if the whole entire Olympics backstory was just a cover for when you used to kill people for the MI6. That bitch is a murderer. I don't buy the whole Olympics thing. That's clearly a cover. She's good at darts and javelins, which means she's fun at a dive bar, or she can help you if you own a whaling vessel. So that's pretty cool. She's passionate about cake and car maintenance. That's the total package. Well, almost. Okay. Agatha, baby, listen. You did cross me in one unforgivable, fatal flaw. We were almost a perfect match, but you kicked a cunt. You kicked a cat, you crazy cunt. Oh, that came out so backwards, and it still tasted fun in my mouth. You kicked a cat, you crazy cunt. You punted a pussy. You footballed a feline. You got rid of the gato. And if it wasn't for that fact, and the fact that you kind of look like Hannah Howard's attractive twin sister, we would have made a great match. All in all, Hannah, you look like you fell off of her. All right, I'm gonna turn it back over to Nick here in a second so that he can do what it is that he does best and tear into some assholes. because comedy is definitely not what he does best.
Oh.
Here's to you, Nick. Thank you so much for inviting me to rape you harder than the fantasies your fiance is too scared to try with you. Ladies and gentlemen, one more. God damn it, one more. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen.
Back to you. Hold on. That was just, I thought it was the AC. Hold on.
So close. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your host with the most oral STDs, Nick Hawk.
Wow. You guys, okay, like I gotta say the returners, like I've laughed so hard tonight that I cried some of my makeup. You can see I'm a little rosy on the cheeks. It's not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to be all one. It's supposed to be all one. Jeffree Star would be disappointed. You guys really delivered tonight. And so because of that, I've had about 3 glasses of wine and I'm ready to unload. So let me.
Gross.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Oh, that kind of unload.
Hey, please do not unload onto us, Nicholas.
Okay. Here we go. We all know why we're here. We're here because I'm arrogant as fuck and I needed a platform to be a comedian. You know, this is why. Guys. No, we're really here tonight to roast Miss Trunchbull. If you guys don't know who she is, why the fuck did you come and watch this? No, just kidding. I mean, just think of Nanny McPhee, but with like no sweet side, and she has plus like type 2 diabetes, you know? Pretty neat. Speaking of someone who's trying to beat the beaties himself, we have one of the most sexually disease-riddled creatures we could find. Josh Edwards. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but every time right before I get on stage, I really feel like I need to shit because of the anxiety, but don't worry. I'm not a bottom like Josh, so it should all stand. I keep telling him he needs to tighten up his, what do you call it again? Your cum receptacle? As soon as he gets up from that chair, he's probably just going to be snail trailing around his house for the rest of the night. Pretty wonderful. Speaking of which, Hannah Howard is here. She'll do anything to get away from her children. Hannah Howard looks like the girl in Scott Pilgrim if she had a thyroid problem. It's really neat. Speaking of thyroid problems, Miles. You're here. Miles Francis looks like the product of a mother who did too many whippets. Just something not balanced there. I know if you could look at Miles Francis, he gives you really like beige moment, like his hair looks like white, yellow ramen and his face is very beige, you know. If cereal Frosted Flakes was a person, it'd be Miles Davis. You know, it's just how I feel. We're going to talk about Trunch for a minute. The best role I think she's ever had was in Now and Then. Oh shit, that was Rosie O'Donnell. I'm thinking of another fat lesbian. Sorry. Kyle Porter, he's here. I don't know why you came. I didn't even invite you. How'd you get this, you fucking hacker? Kyle Porter is the exact result of what would happen if you put water on a gremlin with cancer. So it's just something. Don't feed him after midnight. You know that. You know that. Kyle Porter looks like if the wire hanger didn't quite reach the fetus but scratched. No. Something really sweet. You'll get past it. Anna Borden gives me real she's all that energy. The only difference is when I picture her walking down the stairs to meet Freddie Prinze Jr., her dad isn't in the room. So nice. Anna Borden seems like the kind of teacher that would have sex with her student at their parents' house. But only if they had HGTV so they could watch Fixer Upper. It's the only way she's doing it. Tom, hello.
Hey.
You look great tonight. I didn't know there was such a thing as Make-A-Wish adults. I I didn't know. I'm happy that you could get a part of the show. That's really sweet. Like I'm always there, like you said, to build myself up. So here I am lending a hand. The cool thing about Tom is that he looks like Voldemort if he had hair. I bet he just wishes he could slither in some girl's vagina.
Heaven knows.
Heaven knows. Heaven to Betsy. Wes Corwin isn't here. But surprise fact, Wes Corwin has a girlfriend. I know this because he did one of my shows while she was driving and he was holding a boombox and sitting in the passenger seat holding a microphone. So I know she's a live person, though she might not be alive anymore because in the video she was holding up a sign that said, "Help me." So I feel like you need to look into that a little bit. Listen, guys, I can't believe how funny you were tonight. Like, honestly, if you haven't impressed your parents, you impressed me a lot.
Aw.
You guys did really a wonderful job. One thing, you son of a bitch is watching this. I know you keep hopping on and off. Like, when is Nick going to be on? I get it. Like, I'm a star. But you guys feel free. I'm going to go through everyone's name. I'm going to click on them so you can feel free to Venmo them and or look at their social media because some of these people are funny. Tom couldn't get the background work, but don't worry, he didn't have any social media to mention anyways.
I downloaded it yesterday.
He didn't. He didn't have any. He's like, "What do you mean? I don't have an Instagram." And I was like, we're gonna go with, we're just gonna go in a random order. I'm gonna put up Tom first. Just tell them where they can find you.
Oh, on Facebook.
Great. Miles Francis.
I'm at
Thank
Mr.
you.
Most Days Off everywhere.
Okay, cool. Everyone, if you want to tip him, go there. We are poor. We're eating ramen, and we're actually eating some of Miles' hair. So it's okay. Next up, we're gonna spotlight this beautiful creature, Anna. This money she'll be making tonight will go for her father. Oh my goodness, so wonderful. Next up, we've got Kyle Porter. If you want to go and tip him, check out any of his social media. He's to die for. And yeah, he is. He's a great person. God, I love you so much. Okay, next up we have, oh my gosh, here she is, the woman of the hour, Miss Trunchbull. You go follow here, that move, you fucking.
Sorry.
I just
Hannah
swallowed.
on social media, but pitching Hannah if you want to give me cash.
Yeah, give her cash. She deserves it because her kids are starving.
And I lost my job, so now I really have to pay attention to them.
Next up, we have Josh Edwards. This little twink needs to find the right top for purchase. Sorry,
Yes, please.
like you would ever bottom. The only bottom you like is bottomless mimosas. Anyways, we are going to go back to me for a quick little wrap up. If you guys don't learn anything from this movie, I'm putting the glass down. If you don't learn anything from this motherfucking movie, you need to learn that child abuse is not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. This little bitch right here, she had magic powers, but these bitches that were her parents probably were hiding her Hogwarts letters from her. Could never have got to meet Harry Potter. Just as bullshit. And it's no matter how much money Mara Wilson made, she didn't have enough money to fix that lisp. It's crazy. It's like, what happened? Yes, this is my favorite story. Okay. I gotta go. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful night. Comedians, I will talk to you on the interwebs. I'm about to end this and I will send you a message on how great you do because I only care about myself. Remember, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.